Okay, so the compassion cartel, what is that exactly? How does it differentiate from Texas Token or your YouTube channel? What is it exactly?
It was just, so it's funny. So I got so excited about the Pulse sacrifice that I recognized, like I had met a guy and he sacrificed $15 million for Pulse.
Wow.
And I just did a little back of the napkin math on that.
Wow.
And I'm like, $15 million, if this goes, 300x, 1000x, which it could be way more than that, this is a guy that's going to be sitting on billions of dollars of value.
He might even be the richest person in the world.
Yeah. Well, besides Richard Hart, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I looked at it and I thought, you know what? What are people going to do with that kind of abundance? I mean, you can only drive one car, wear one pair of pants. I mean, you get to a certain point where you kind of got it out of your system. You're like, I can have anything I want. And then you kind of go, well, what should I be doing and how can things change? And so we said, hey, let's get together, people that care about making a change. And what if we were to have the greatest decentralized VC firm possible? Meaning everybody said, I'm going to take $100 of my Pulse sacrifice, which, million Pulse points. And I'm going to just commit to giving them away. That's it. And maybe I'll just connect with some other people in community. And let's say you and I really like poverty. We like to help people that are in poverty, or maybe you like animals, or maybe you like the environment, or I don't care what it is. Let's get together and let's talk about what we care about. And then let's say you want to give, you call me up. You're like, Crypto Harpy, man, I know you like poverty stuff. I really like this thing over here. Let's drill some wells. Well, it's just going to help you be more effective because you and I are on the same page. So really, it's more of a community. It's a Telegram group, pulsepromise.com. And it's just people who are like, hey, yeah, I want to think about contributing to a better world through giving. And so that just comes out of my, philanthropy background. But it's not a token. It's nothing. It's just a group of people who care. It's a great group. But, right now we've been waiting so long for the Pulsechain to launch.
It's ridiculous too. Yeah, we are waiting for Pulsechain to launch. We're waiting for our riches. But that's even part of the reason why I started this channel too, because we all know I'm in the Xen community also. We all know that we're all going to be making money. Maybe we won't be millionaires in this bull run, but we'll definitely be millionaires by the next bull run that happens in 2029. So what are we going to do with our time? What are we going to do with our money? What are we going to do with ourselves when money is no longer really an object, right?
Yep.
What are you going to do with your time? And I like the fact that you're creating the compassion cartel to make use of your time, because what happens with most rich people is that once you have a lot of money, your next pursuit is power.
Yes.
Money is power itself, but you want to use but it depends. What do you want to use your power for? So I like the fact that you're trying to use your power to help those that are less fortunate. And that's why I'm even trying to do it myself. Eventually I'm going to become wealthy with this or whatever. What I plan on doing is just educating people to become wealthy also.
Yeah.
I'm Nigerian too. My heritage is Nigerian, everything, even though I was born here. So what I want to do is educate people in the African-American community, or just the African community, of how to get into crypto itself. Nigeria is the number 2 or number 3 crypto heavy based country in the entire world. Right. So I know they're already ahead of the game, but I want them to be even further. So that's why I'm creating the channel. That's why you're creating Crypto Heartbeat and you're creating Compassion Cartel. And this is absolutely amazing. So I don't want us in the crypto community to use our power for evil, because, some rich people create things such as the ETF or I mean, not ETF, the
World Economic Forum.
World WEF, yes, World Economic Forum, right? So you can use your power for good. You can use your power. I'm not saying that they're evil, right? YouTube, don't censor me, please.
I'd be happy to say it.
But I don't want YouTube to demonetize me. But you want to use your power for good, right? So that's why it's really important for this to happen.
Well, and I think fundamentally, you're making a really good point. Think about somebody that's in a remote part of Nigeria. And let's say that you educate them and they understand about DeFi and they understand this opportunity. I think what's so crazy is we've seen Bitcoin, we've seen Ethereum, we've seen things go up so much, and we want to be a part of that. And the basic benefit to you is like, hey, I can get my time back and I might be able to do some good and I can get my head above water. There's so many people that have been struggling because of an extraction-based system, right? We've gone into places like Nigeria and taken everything. I mean, it's classic Western thought, which is go in, take everybody else's stuff. And this is a different era. And I think it's guys like you and me who are saying to people, hold on a second, there's enough to go around. And we need to educate ourselves and get into community and care about things on the ground. Because to me, it's so classic. You know, the rich guy in America, even the rich person in the West who wants to help, thinks that throwing money at stuff is how you solve it. And what they don't realize is, no, you actually got to be on the ground and know what's going on. Money is a piece of it, but there's a lot more to making a difference than just throwing money at stuff. And a lot of people, I think, that are in philanthropy want to be seen giving. They don't really want to make an impact. And so I like the idea of decentralize the money. Let the people in Nigeria make their own damn decisions. They give them the resources and let them decide. And that whole idea of decentralization is extremely powerful. And that's, I think, the promise of the future. It's not just, you know, hey, we'll get rich and we'll help you. No, let's get you rich and you help you. And to me, that's a whole different paradigm than what we've built the last, 20th century on.
Yeah, so they actually created the digital naira, which is the currency in Nigeria, but the citizens didn't like it. They didn't take it.
Well, that's a CBDC, isn't it? I mean, that's the pilot program of the CBDCs from Ripple. Yeah.
So they're trying to make a CBDC for Nigeria, and the citizens were like, no, we don't like it. There's a culture in Nigeria where people like to pay with money. Like if you go to a party, when you're dancing, people like to spray you with money. It's a real cultural based thing where everyone in the country loves to hold physical dollars because, you don't trust the government as much. So it makes sense to put your money under your mattress than to just keep it in the bank. So when they said they were coming out with a digital version, everyone was like, no way in hell we're going to do this. So it doesn't work. So now they're thinking of doing incentives of, giving people discounts on if they use the digital version of the naira versus the paper version, which I believe America and all the other countries are going to do too. So it's just funny seeing it play out. And
my fear is it's not going to work that way either, and they're not going to get the adoption they need. And so my fear is that the real plan is the next time we have some big issue, right, like a health emergency, and shutdowns or something like that happens, is they're going to have a catalyst, and then they're going to say, all right, the only way you're going to get your money, right, the only way you're going to get this, any help from the government is you're going to have to get our wallet, and you're going to have to use the CBDCs. And so I think it's going to be more by force than it is by option. And that's played out because I think the Bahamas and Nigeria were the two pilot programs, and it was like 10% adoption. And we're like, we can't make this work with 10% adoption, so we're going to have to mandate it. And of course, what's happened when the government mandates and centralizes everything? So, my dream, Benito, is that the people of Nigeria would be able to tokenize themselves. And it's decentralized DeFi. It's not government controlled. They can't mess with the supply. And the people in the community rise up and they agree on what the value is. It's their own version of fiat currency. And that, to me, that's the essence of what we're doing as a team, is we're saying to people, there is another way. You just have to care about your neighbor, dude. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, Nigeria already is heavily involved in Bitcoin.
Yep.
They're heavily involved in Cardano. Cardano is creating a system where you have identity that's tied to cryptocurrency. So Nigeria is already heavily involved in it. So Nigeria is already heavily involved in digital assets, digital currency. So for them to try to push the government version, it's not. I don't think it's going to work. Nigerians are already using the naira, right? Because they have to. So for them to think that they're going to automatically force people to use the
government's late to this party. They're late, and they do not like competition.
Yeah, it's crazy.